Stephen, thank you for joining us today. In your book, Enlightenment Now, you provide such a strong defense of reason, science, humanism, and progress. Why did you find it necessary to defend these matters that are uncontroversial to many people?
They are very much under attack. The forces of reason have always been under attack from religion, from faith, which is believing something without a reason. People have misinterpreted research from cognitive psychology, my own field, which shows that people can often be irrational, to say that we may as well just give up on reason and fight demagoguery with demagoguery. We very much need a defense of the ideal of reason, of truth, of rationality, of evidence. Science is under attack, and not just from the religious right and right-wing politicians, but also from the academic left, who blame science for all manners of ills and evils. And the idea of progress might have been the most controversial, the most in need of defending of all, because people have written off progress as an obsolete, romantic, utopian 19th century fiction, unaware of data showing that with virtually all measures of human flourishing, there has been improvement.
You rely on many data points to show that reason and science are contributing to the best quality of life that people of the world have ever enjoyed. What is the most interesting piece of data that you encountered in your research?
I'll mention the two perhaps biggest surprises. One of them was that in researching the advance of safety, the fact that we're less likely to be killed on the job, we're less likely to be killed in cars and on planes and on the streets, I was surprised to find that we're even less likely to be killed by a bolt of lightning. Your chance of getting killed by a lightning strike have declined more than 98% over the last century. Presumably not because God is any less angry with us, but because people are spending less time outdoors on farms, because of advances in weather prediction, in the insulation of tractors and cars and homes, and in emergency response systems. The other shocker was that, hard as this may be to believe, we have been getting smarter. This is true. In a well-documented phenomenon known as the Flynn effect, named after the New Zealand philosopher who discovered it, IQ scores have been increasing by 3 points a decade for a century. So people today score 30 points higher on an IQ test than their grandparents and great-grandparents did. This is presumably due to advances in health, but also in the spread of schooling. Kids spend more years in school now than they did, and the schooling has emphasized reasoning and understanding over rote memorization. And it's due to the proliferation of abstract concepts and visual symbols from technology, from science, from academia into everyday life.
You have served in the role as honorary president of the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Why did you choose FFRF as an organization to get behind?
Well, the Freedom from Religion Foundation not only endorses the values of humanism and secularism and free thought, but it does something about them in the arena where it makes the biggest difference, namely ensuring that our government is run by principles that we can all agree on rather than the dogmas of a particular religious sect. That's something that's an aspect of humanism that makes a real difference in terms of how people live their lives, and I want to support the legal efforts of the foundation to make sure that our government, with all of its awesome force, is not commandeered by religious sects.
What is your advice for the people who want to live their lives following the ideals of enlightenment?
Much of Enlightenment thinking depends on self-knowledge, on a realization that none of us is infallible, none of us is omniscient. That means that we should distrust authorities, we should distrust dogma, but we also shouldn't be so sure of our own claims to infallibility and moral rectitude. We should listen to criticisms from others. We should submit our will, our decisions to principle, to rules, allow our ideas to be criticized, be open to criticism from others.
Stephen, thank you for taking the time to speak with us for FFRF's program.